Hey, how's everyone doing today? It's CJ Halleck with CJHalleck.com and Vision and Media. And today I wanted to talk about a couple different things. First things first, for those of you who know me regularly, you know lately I've been doing the beard thing. I want to say basically I'm working on what some would call a playoff beard. I have a certain milestones and things, goals that I want to reach uh, soon, small time, short term goals. So I just want to I'm doing the playoff beard. I'm not shaving this part. Of course I got, make it look good, but I'm not, necessarily shaving that until, I reach those milestones. So I wanted to say that I'm getting serious, hats on backwards. I'm getting ready to go to work. Got a whole bunch of stuff I'm about to roll out. Working on a book, personally, nothing to do with business. Actually, a little novel, if you will. Gonna be interesting. Came up with the idea 4 or 5 years ago, and so I'm kind of pushing that into play. Started working on that about 3, 4 days ago. Kind of still in the mix if I'm gonna actually release it as me or if I'm gonna use a pen name or what the case might be. But anywho, um, there's that. The next thing I wanted to talk about is spam. Um, I woke up this morning and there's a gentleman. Not gonna say his name right now. You're gonna see it because I'm gonna do a screen capture of the spam and show you what spam is. There's a lot of people who don't truly understand. You may be doing it and not realizing you're doing it, and there might be times I'm doing it, don't realize it. If that happens, shoot me a message in my inbox and say, "Dude, you're spamming." Back off a little bit. Um, because it takes that sometimes. And I, we had a discussion yesterday with a good friend of mine. I will say, little business acquaintance, author of a soon-to-be New York Times bestseller. Uh, I'll leave it at that. Um, kind of on the same subject because there was someone else who was doing something similar to that, and we had discussed it. But anyways, I'm gonna touch base on that here in a second. But for that, I'm gonna actually go into a screen capture on the Mac and let you take a look at what spam is. Other than that, I just basically want to put, if someone says something, let's say so and so says having a bad day, needs some type of inspiration. Is there, a poem or a story or something anybody knows of that'll help me get in a good mood? I may post, something that may help them off of my Stay Boosted site. Or somebody says, what's going on with this new timeline thing? Or the changes on Facebook. You know, there's too many really to list, in a comment. So I made list a comment to my Vision and Media blog that actually has the video of the F8 conference, the Facebook Developers Conference, that will show you Mark Zuckerberg sitting up in front of the thing, walking you through all the bullet points on why they're doing what they're doing. But if you're, for no reason, going around and posting links on people's sites and they're not even interested in the stuff, and I'm not saying, okay, we'll just hop straight into it. I'll let you take a look at it. Yeah, so off to the Mac. I'll be right back. Okay, now we're on the Mac. I woke up this morning, basically put, and Mikey Johnson, this gentleman, he's from yourtricities.com, and I hate even saying his website because I don't want to give him credit. But he put this little thing right here on my site, on my wall on Facebook, and basically put, this is what we know as spam. You can say it all you want, You can say, well, I'm just trying to shit. I'm not even big on MMA. I don't follow it. I don't care about it. So this has no relevance to me. Um, and this is what I'm talking about with spam. This right here. Okay, this is spam. For those of you who don't know, this is spam. Um, and another thing is posting pictures, and I don't have any examples at the time. I can pull some up, but I don't have any ready, so I'm not going to actually open it up and show you. But basically put, if you open a picture, let's say for instance, you do pressure washing, okay, and you pressure wash someone's house, and I'm saying this because this was an example somebody brought to my attention yesterday. You pressure wash someone's house, right? You could tag them in that picture because you did that house. But don't go around and start tagging people who you've already pressure washed and say, that they're in the picture, and then they go click on it. And it's a driveway that you did that has nothing to do with them. Or if you're trying to get people's attention to a picture that you did and you're tagging people in it, and it's nothing that's going to benefit them. Now, if you're doing something and the picture is something that you think the person would like, or is something that you really think honestly, and it has no benefit to you, you're not getting anything out of it, you're not using it as a marketing ploy, then by all means, tag away. But if any small little voice in your head says that might be spam, don't do it. It's that simple. It's going to hurt you in the long run, and people don't like it. It's that simple. If there's something you want to share, for instance, Mikey Johnson, if you end up watching this, if you want to share this, send it in the inbox and say, hey, CJ, look, I follow you. I know you're into personal development stuff, but I have seen a few things that makes me think you might be interested in some MMA. If so, I just started a new site called yourfightsite.com. If you're interested, please check it out. If not, I'm sorry for bothering you. I don't mean for this to sound spammy, but just trying to get the word out. Or create a Facebook page for UR Fight Site. Because obviously from the looks of your page, you're into marketing stuff. So create a Facebook page and suggest that I like it. And then from that point, then as you get new posts and stuff like that, it'll automatically post, on my wall. Not my wall, but it'll post on my news stream, and I'll be able to see it. And I don't mean to do this to to call out Mr. Johnson, but I'm doing this as an example for people to see Mikey as well, and everybody. There are different ways to get your content out without actually spamming out everybody's stuff. Now, for example, we're going to open a link in a new tab, and we'll go to his page. And this is where spam comes into play. You go to his page, right? And he's not the only one. There's plenty of other people who do this. And I can name a list of people, but sorry, Mikey, you're our example of the day. This right here, okay, it's on your wall. Perfectly fine. You can post whatever you want to on your wall. That's your God-given right. Says the one and only Mark Zuckerberg. But basically put, you go through here, you now friends with, okay, posted a link, 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 posted a link. Let's see what else he has on here. Posted a link, posted a link, posted a link, more, posted a link, posted a link, posted a link, more, posted a link, posted a link. Thanks, Bill, on her own. So sorry, Mikey, if you're a girl, I'm sorry if I said anything otherwise. So Miss Johnson, I guess it is. So I'm sorry about that. But you can see this, Okay, here we go. He's pushing stuff. Perfect example. I'm so sorry again. She is pushing stuff, and I'm guessing because it says, where was it? Thanks, Bill, on her own link. So I'm guessing Mikey is a female. So, perfect example. Mikey is posting, unless you somehow or for some reason set it up as a female to try to get more people to be friends with you, in which case grow up and learn how to market. But if not, cool. You're pushing stuff for MMA. Basically put, here you go, MMA, that's it. This person knows that. And they put a video on your page. They know you like MMA. They know you're running an MMA, blog. So they're going to put MMA stuff on your page. You might like this here. Perfectly cool. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about real quick while I'm in here talking about spam is we're going to go to her site. YouAreFightSite.com. This is going to be really quick because it has nothing to do with spam, but I just wanted to touch base on this real quick. If you run a blog of any sort, right, let me let you in on a secret, okay? It looks great. It really does. From an outside point of view, it looks like you're sharing a whole bunch of information. You're talking about, the fighters, when they're born, hometown, all that fun stuff. But what I wanted to talk about was, okay, that's cool. That's interaction with your readers. And then you go down, you have to get social, search tab, which, for better results, I would suggest you move the search tab up, put it like up here, kind of up towards the top, because people aren't going to want to scroll down halfway down the page to find your search, your search box. Upcoming events, great. Updates, IZig, love it. Tweets, great. Calendar of events, love it. And then here we go with the stuff that people need to understand. Here is nothing but both sides, banner ads, banner ads, banner ads, banner ads. If you're into blogging and trying to make money from your site and monetizing it, there's a few things you need to learn. One, don't blast banner ads all over your site when you don't have much traffic. I go down to the bottom. Let me see if I can get this to pull up. Okay, you can't see because I didn't select the screen enough for you to actually see it, but it shows. Yeah, I'll do this. There we go. Right here, Alexa rank unranked, no page rank 0. Okay, which means you don't have that much traffic. Okay, there's going to be a few things. One is because you're spamming the link out and people don't want to go to your page. Of course, you're going to get some extra Alexa rank points, if you will, for me staying on the site as long as I am. But if you do nothing but affiliate links, banners on the sides, it actually drives people away from your site. I can't remember the name of the company, but there was a company that actually did research on this. This shows these are highly ineffective, especially when you have it on both sides. Try to keep your sidebars either on the right or the left, either way, but don't do them both, because then it narrows down the content and it kind of looks like it's you're doing a site just to get paid instead of sharing content. The best way to do it is, for instance, right here, you have a shirt which I'm guessing is for Len Cook, which, if I remember correctly, right, Len Cook, this guy right here. The best way to do it is when you're writing the blog post for this Len Cook gentleman, actually put it on that post. Put this on this post. Share the affiliate links on the posts that are relevant. You will sell probably, I'm guessing, don't quote me on this, but anywhere between 75, probably 80% more putting it in relevant posts, not to mention there's going to be more content shared that way, because it's going to be easier for the Google spiders to find it for when people search the name Len Cook. So that's that. Basically put, now that I'm finished with that, just be careful when you post stuff on your site, because whether people realize it or not, it is going to look like spam. Whether you mean it to look like spam, or whether you don't, either way, it's going to appear that way. This right here looks like spam to me, and to probably about 85 to 90% of the people out there. So just watch what you're doing. That's about it. Yeah, back to me in person for that lovely smile. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is spam. Next thing really I wanted to talk about was, well, first things first. For those of you who are big gym class heroes or Travie McCoy fans, there's a song, and according to YouTube, it's been out for a while, a couple months at least. It's called Stereo Heart. It's Gym Class Heroes, and Adam Levine, I believe is his name. He was from Maroon 5, if I'm correct. I may be wrong, but don't yell at me. Great song. I absolutely love this song. You should really take a listen to it. It's a nice little, it's got the Gym Class Heroes, Travie McCoy feel to it. And Adam Levine doing the hook is really nice. Cool little video too. Shadows doing different things than the people. But anyways, next thing I wanted to talk about is there's a book. For those of you who know me, know that I've been, fully engulfed in personal development, self-help type books, business books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich, Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, the list goes on and on. Mark Yarnell. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them. But anyways, there's a book that I had come across, I guess about a year and a half ago, called Do You by Russell Simmons. Great, absolutely great book. I would recommend that to everybody. But he did a follow-up called Super Rich. Now, everyone, and for those of you who don't know Russell Simmons was the man who did Def Jam. He did, Def Comedy, Comedy Jam or whatever. He did Fat Farm, Baby Fat. I mean, he's done the Rush Card. I mean, he's done so much stuff that the man knows what he's talking about. But that being said, his book Super Rich that followed up after Do You, great book, and I strongly suggest everybody read it. I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for doing this. I hope that I don't get in trouble for doing this, but I'm going to do it anyways. And that is, I'm going to share, a lot of the times I work too much to actually sit down and open a book and actually flip the pages and read it. It's easier for me to, get a audiobook, throw it on the iPhone, put the headphones in, and, if I go on a walk, or I plug it into the CD player in the car. If I'm making a road trip or something, I'll listen to the audiobook, or if I'm driving for any more than 2 or 3 minutes, I'll listen to the audiobook because it's easier for me to do it that way. And I've been doing that since I was probably 7, 8, 9 years now. It's absolutely incredible method. And so I have the Super Rich audiobook. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hopefully not get copyright infringement lawyers after me, and I'm going to share just a couple minutes, a little snippet of the audiobook so you guys can take a look at it, or listen to it at least. Let me know what you think. I hope everything, let me know what you think. If you like it, I'll put a link for the book up underneath this on YouTube. I guess that's about it. Yeah. So check this out, and I'll be right back. Once again, it's Super Rich, Russell Simmons. Here you go.
Meditation and youth. Meditation over medication is particularly relevant when it comes to the lives of young people, as the teenage years are often when the noise in our heads is at its loudest. Too many young people try to muffle that noise by puffing on a blunt with their friends after school or sneaking a few beers down in their parents' basement. I'm convinced, however, that if we can show teenagers that there's another avenue available to them when they begin to feel stressed out, insecure, depressed, or heartbroken, then they won't be so likely to head down the dead-end path of substance abuse. Our youth need to know that through meditation they can find the peace and confidence they're seeking. They are our most precious natural resource, and we must do all we can to give them the tools that will help them stay focused and positive. The other day I had a meeting with Chris Brown, the young R&B singer who unfortunately has become best known for the incident in which he hit his girlfriend, the singer Rihanna. Chris deserved all of the criticism he received for his actions, but I ultimately believe he deserves our forgiveness too. He's an intelligent and extremely talented young man who made a mistake, but he can, and I think he will, do better. While we were talking, I mentioned my meditation practice, and Chris immediately expressed interest in learning TM himself. I set him up with Bob, and I have no doubt that as long as he sticks with it, he'll see that meditation keeps him grounded, at peace, and focused on his considerable gifts. I only wish he had been exposed to meditation earlier in his life. If he had, I'm confident that the noise in his head wouldn't have gotten so loud that it drowned out his better instincts, that it caused him to make choices that created so much needless suffering in the lives of people closest to him. Chris is going to be fine, but there are countless other young people out there who are still at risk and desperately need the stability and peacefulness that meditation will bring into their lives. Studies have shown that young people exposed to meditation have higher test scores and better grades, consume less alcohol and drugs, and have fewer suspensions and expulsions, lower dropout rates, and higher graduation rates compared with non-meditating kids. A few months ago, I caught another glimpse of this firsthand when I visited the Ideal Academy in Washington, D.C., a school that has integrated meditation into its curriculum. The academy is in the middle of a very tough part of D.C. and, like a lot of hood schools, has seen its share of problems. But the school's principal, Dr. George Doc Rutherford, told me that once he introduced 2 15-minute quiet times into the students' schedule, things began to improve dramatically. After quiet time, teachers say their students are more alert and engaged. Parents say their kids are easier to get along with at home. And students say they feel less anger, less stressed, and better about going to school. Once one of the worst performing schools in D.C., now the Ideal Academy has transformed, thanks to meditation, into one of the city's strongest. And we're seeing this happen all around the country. Wherever kids are given a chance to be still, violence and absenteeism go down, grades go up, and both teachers and students report that the environment becomes much more conducive to learning. Yet despite the hundreds of success stories that are being reported around the country, there are some out there who want to stop schools from incorporating meditation into their curriculum. In the eyes of these short-sighted people, by encouraging young people to sit in silence and communicate with their higher selves, we will be undermining traditional spiritual values. Essentially, these people worry that by helping young people talk to the God inside of them, we'll be taking prayer out of the church and putting it directly into the hands of the people, and to them, that seems to be a scary idea. I don't want to pass judgment on any Christian groups or any other group that feels threatened by meditation, which is why I think schools should follow the example of the Ideal Academy, as it doesn't directly refer to meditation, but rather promotes quiet times. This gives the students the freedom to use the time however they choose, reading silently, meditating, praying, or just sitting still and shutting up. Basically, I don't care what they call that block of time that's set aside for stillness, just so long as stillness is a part of every student's day. If we really care about our children's future, we need to take meditation out of the margins and make it mainstream. Make it one of the basic tools we use in raising our children.
Like I said, it's a great book. Check it out. Russell Simmons, Super Rich. Also, if you finish that and you want to hear something good, or if you want to start with his first book, it's Do You, D-O-Y-O-U. It's very simple. You can pick that up at any major bookstore, or you can go to audible.com and grab that. Of course, Amazon and everything else. So that being said, I have nothing else for you aside from the fact we are, I hate saying this, we're like 2 months and like 21 days, I think 20 days, something like that, away from Christmas. Now, a lot of you are sitting there like flipping the screen off and cussing at me right now. I'm sorry, it's a fact and you gotta live with it. Um, and there's a lot of people who will save up money to do the whole Black Friday thing. And I just wanted to kind of let you know about my shopping genie. I'm back in your face with it again this year. I pushed it a little last year. Push it here every once in a while. Basically, it saves you money. Um, some people don't like the way it works. Some people love it. I'll just tell you some of my personal stories, just so you can get a good idea on how it works. Ink. There's so many people who talk about how much money ink is and everything else, and I tell everybody get a Kodak. First of all, get a Kodak printer because the printers are like twice, sometimes 3 times as much as you would pay for the printer. You're looking, what, $120, $130 for a printer. And you can go down to Office Depot and grab a printer for $35, $40. But when you're going and doing that, when you run out of ink, you're spending $35, $40 for ink. So get a Kodak, first of all, because you can go to Walmart and get the ink for like $15. But, guess it was about a month ago, I ran out of ink, and instead of actually picking up, going to Walmart, grabbing the ink, I didn't necessarily need, I was running low, I'll put it that way. I was running low on ink. So what I did, I plugged it into the Genie, and I got a black cartridge and a color cartridge, which is, you're looking at close to $30 right there if you go to Walmart, 25, something like that, for like $12. Can't beat it. Time before, me and my ex had bought a 2003 Buick Rendezvous, wrecked in the front. Not real bad, but it's kind of wrecked passenger side front. Busted a headlight. Kind of dented the fender in the hood and stuff a little bit. But we bought it. A very good friend of mine sold it to me extremely cheap, like insanely cheap. Like I could have probably turned around and sold it and made $3 or $4 grand off of it. Cheap. That's how cheap it was. Actually, more than that, even with it being wrecked. But anyways, so in order to drive it, we needed to get the headlight fixed, right? So I went to, Advanced, O'Reilly's, Napa, AutoZone, all them places. The cheapest I could find was like if I remember correctly, it was like $307, right? So I'm looking at it like that's a lot of money, and a lot of people, that's about what you're gonna pay, unless you go to a junkyard. No, I didn't want to buy used. Didn't want to buy something that had, oxidized headlights, nothing like that off of a junkyard, off a vehicle that's been sitting in the junkyard for a year or two. So, went to the Genie, plugged it in the Genie, got the exact same headlight for $170 something and free shipping. So, I saved, over $100 on that. So, I say this, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. It's free. Not only is it free, it saves you a bunch of money, a ridiculous amount of money. It goes out, it pulls from pretty much every website online through Google, Buy.com, Walmart, Amazon, eBay, everything. Absolutely love it. Go get it now. Other than that, I'm done rambling for the day. I have nothing else on my little pad of notes stuff to tell you. So I guess that's it. Aside from the fact, it's Tuesday, the 4th of October. I just want to put this out there. I just the other day got LL Cool J's book, Platinum Workout. So I'm kind of going through that, looking, I'm going to try to get like all the Rock, Vin Diesel, LL Cool J, rock solid. Eventually, I'll get that way. May take a little bit. I got a little out of shape. Other than that, just want to let you know what's going on. I'm gonna probably be posting here and there on cjhalleck.com. my input on the book and the different workouts and stuff that they have in that. I started doing Insanity a couple months back, and I kind of quit. It's hard to do something like that. It's harder to do something like that by yourself than it is if you have, a group of people. And for those of you who have tried Insanity, know exactly what I'm talking about. Especially when you don't have the location. Because it's not something that you just sit ups and push ups and crazy. You do crazy stuff. Um, so that being said, I'm gonna hop off of here. Hope everyone has a great, enjoys the rest of your week. Tomorrow's hump day, halfway through the week, closer to the weekend. I'm ready for some Nebraska football. Hopefully we can redeem ourselves. Saturday was very rough. Taylor Martinez really needs to learn how to throw, and Bo Pelini needs to realize that if it works, don't change it. If you're scoring when you run the ball and they score when you pass, stop passing the ball as much. That being said, I guess that's about it. We're facing Ohio State, so that's going to be a fun one. Other than that, it's about 11, 15-ish. We'll see if we can get all this done and uploaded by noon. Y'all have a great day. Enjoy yourself. And as always, I said it before and I'll say it again. Be great and stay boosted. Have a good one. Bye.